Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, crank up your yacht rock, Toto, Michael McDonald, or even a Weezer cover of Toto, because we have the most yachtable watch of summer 2019. This is the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra, the post-2017 iteration of the watch. 41 millimeters in diameter. The watch is easy to wear on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It's a nice compact span across the wrist thanks to the new pivoted end links of the bracelet. Post 2017, the span across the wrist of the 41 is 47.2 millimeters, and I like that sizing. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, I've got plenty of clearance. I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. It's not a thick watch, 13.3 millimeters with a sloped bezel, because this isn't one of the rotating bezel Seamasters. It's really the Surf Turf Seamaster. It has a very apropos profile for use underneath a tight dress cuff. If you are, for example, in the banquet hall of the yacht club after the regatta. 20 millimeters the spacing between the lugs, so you can easily outfit this one with any number of straps, OEM or aftermarket. Now the bracelet's a nice piece. It is a 3-link design that I've often highlighted as an example of good 3-link design without being derivative of the Rolex Oyster bracelet. I actually have a Rolex Oyster bracelet present, so you can see it's more tapered. The links themselves are a little bit longer from top to bottom and not quite as broad from side to side. So Omega created a 3-link design that's not derivative of the Oyster, and I applaud them for it. The taper is very minimal, but as you can see, the links themselves are short end to end and broad across, especially those polished centers. All of the screws, of course, fixing individual links, no pin sleeves here, and you get a half link on each side of the clasp to make for easier sizing micrometrically. Double deployant clasp, as you can see, it is a sequential closed clasp, so one side shuts before the other. Twin trigger release, so you do have to press both triggers before it'll pop open. It can't accidentally deploy itself. Jumping back to the case, lyre style lugs, you know them well. They're the Omega lyre style that turns inward from the peak of the bevel, and then the bevel flares and slopes down outward. There's a satin finished case band. This is not new. You've seen it on countless Seamasters and Speedmasters since the mid-60s. The satin finish running longitudinally and the bevel thinning out at the center. What is a little bit new post-2017 is the crown itself, which has a different shape. You can see it's sort of an inverse cone. It's wider at the outside than it is closer to the case, and then it's got a different knurling pattern, and there's no more recessed crown or shear guard as there was on the pre-2017 Aqua Terra. Polished conical bezel. The dial reinvents the teak deck concept that first debuted in the late 2000s. Rather than a top-to-bottom teak deck striation designed to evoke the deck of a yacht. What else? You now have a 9-to-3 horizontal striation, and you can see that some of the recesses, as well as some of the planks, if you will, are not symmetrically sized, so it feels a little bit more like natural wood. It's a lovely metallic blue with all applique indices. You can see a shock of cyan, the Seamaster script, recapped on the index of the seconds hand, and then you can see it again at the quarters, 15, 30, 45, 60. Applique Omega logo and marquee. The dial has height. It has several different changes of plane, tone, and texture. It looks expensive, and it is upscale. There is now a date at 6 o'clock versus 3 previously. You still get the time zone function, however, which is a wonderful feature for world-wandering Omega owners. You can actually jump hour by hour forward or backwards. Note the watch continues to keep time, and you can actually jump the date forward or backwards too, so it's great for travelers. Now you pull the crown out all the way, you still get the quick set, or I should say you get the stop seconds function, so you have the ability to set quickly, if you wish, to a reference time. Now, the timepiece beats away at a quirky 25,200 vibrations per hour, which is specific to the latest versions of Omega's coaxial escapement. Screw the crown down, the watch is 150 meters water resistant, which is quite a bit more than the comparable Rolex Yachtmaster, another surf turf sports watch. Caliber 8900. Now, it's still conforms to the COSC test standards, but it goes beyond. Rather than being tested in 5 positions like the COSC as a bare movement, it's now tested in 6 positions as a fully cased up watch. METAS, the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology chronometer standard, has been adopted by Omega, and it's an 8 Criteria test. So you get the 6-position test of chronometry, water resistance, anti-magnetism, winding efficiency, and power reserve, all of that for the caliber 8900. Full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance, SI14, silicon hairspring for anti-magnetism, really amagnetism, over 1.5 Tesla of anti-magnetism. You get twin mainspring barrels that give the watch a 60-hour power reserve. It's a 39 joule movement. Those two barrels ensure not only do you get a long power reserve, but the torque release from max wind to minimum wind is very even, so you don't have the drop off of balance amplitude after 24 hours that you get with single barrel movements. Very desirable, very effective. The tri-level coaxial, the latest iteration of Dr. George Daniels' early 1970s innovation, as industrialized by Omega in the late 90s and perfected by Omega in the mid 2000s. It's now highly accurate, allows long service intervals, and provides immense long-term timing stability. You can see and own the sight of summer on your wrist, the Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra in stainless steel. Omega Seamaster Aqua Terra by night, blue by day, blue by night.